I think if nothing else, it could be kind of fun to see if that actually works. I mean, the theory is that you then have to somehow push it off the boat. So we'll have to kind of see how that whole thing works, but yeah. Be a fun little challenge, I think. Beautiful new city you have made there in this game, says Trash Hunter 1. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Glad you like it, dude. This has been a really fun build so far. Just deconstruct the boat on land. How do you deconstruct a boat? With a pickaxe or something? Do you destroy it? I know you can't, like, just take a boat apart, so I guess you just have to axe it a few questions. Maybe? Perhaps? I do like asking questions. You have to actually catch the fish. Yeah, all the fish are physical objects in the world. So in just a little bit, and I think we're getting there pretty quick now. In just a little bit, we're going to overfish this area, and we're going to have to wait for them all to respawn here. Yep. Yoink! 2 for 1! Woo! Can you not breed fish? No, there's no fish breeding right now, unfortunately. When you loot a fish, you literally loot a fillet, or like a chopped in half fish. So it's not like you can put the fish in a fish tank or something, because you literally end up with like a piece of fish meat. They would have to kind of change that around a little bit to make it so, you know, you could like put it in a tank and stuff like that. Wouldn't be hard, of course. I'm sure they could do it, but in its current form, it couldn't support it. Unless you just wanted a lot of like half-dead fish floating around a tank, which is kind of morbid, honestly. Yeah. Man, we pulled out almost 20 fish here. It really hasn't been that long at all. Let's get one more and then we're gonna go make some wraps. I think I see one more in there. Oh yeah, there's one right there at the bottom. Oh, there we go. Can you make a pond? You can. You can dig out a pond. I don't know if fish will spawn in it. I actually have no idea. So that is an interesting question. I don't know if you dig out a big enough area if fish will eventually spawn in it. I did. I got the damn fish. Yes. Where'd I get my buildings designed from? You mean this? Nowhere. I just built all this. Yeah. Had an idea and slowly kind of worked it out over time. Mm-hmm. That being said, I have picked up little tricks and tips from all sorts of places. So I've had users in chat, a lot of this stuff, a lot of cool things in the build have been users in chat suggesting things. I also browse the Reddit. There's a very active Reddit called valheim.reddit.com. There's some cool builds on there. I'm sure that I've taken some of those ideas and incorporated them in ways. So there's all sorts of like cool little build techniques in this game that you can kind of like put together and form something really cool with. Mm-hmm. That's right, Farvicola. Borrowed a lot from Degas and Picasso. Absolutely. Big fan of you know, Frank Lloyd Wright and okay, so let's make some of this real quick. Put more of this in. Yeah, the windmills are going to be completely moved. I'm gonna change all this. I'm gonna make another windmill too at some point. These chests aren't in the right area. We'll probably work on a lot of this tonight as well. I'm gonna redo the kitchen. I think I'm gonna redo the kitchen, but I think I'm gonna do it pretty similar to how it is. I really like this kitchen. I think it's simplistic. It's nice. I don't think I'll be changing a lot of the kitchen. Dandelion in there. Oh. There we go. Oh, this first. You can put the hearths in the ground so they're even with the floor. We could do that. We're gonna see. I'm gonna break it all down and rebuild it from scratch tonight. Been a long time coming anyway. This little building has served me very well this run. This was my base for the longest time. You're looking at my base. Now it looks more like this. But yeah, this was my base for like, God, what, chat? 30 hours? 40 hours? Something like that. Cool, Zerk. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to make it so it's like the perfect height, because the hearth doesn't snap at all, does it? I don't think the hearth snaps at all, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, we're going to be touring the mod server before I leave this game. Like, before we're done with this playthrough, we're going to be touring the mod server for sure. It must be lonely being the only one in your world. Not really. I'm very antisocial. This is great. I love being alone. Let's just put this like here. There we go. Yeah, antisocial is not the right word. Introverted is a better word. Yeah. I think antisocial has like negative connotations. Like you are like, you really don't like people. I don't dislike people. I don't. I really don't dislike people. I just prefer to hang out with not people. It's not antisocial. Yeah, exactly. Antisocial has sociopathic tendencies. That's certainly not what I'm saying. No, I'm just fine. No, you know what I mean. That's definitely not what I'm saying. Let's put this in here. I think we're gonna need to make another kind of big run for wood. And I think we can do that in the other area, the first area. Power says, people just cause problems. Yeah. Cohh is a long-time investor in social distancing. I like it. Yeah. I'm diamond hands on social distancing. I have been since the late 90s. That's right. That's right. There you go. Oh, wow. Jubilous. That's awesome. What's up, Boatman? I'm pro solo. That's right. Can I show us the map exploration? Yeah, sure. Dude, it's not much. It's really not much. I've uncovered maybe a fifth of the map, if even, during my solo run. Yeah, if even. Okay. So let's see. We've got food. We are repaired. Let's duck out. Do we have the elder? Let's go get the... Well, we're going to go this way anyways. Let's go to the god ring. I think our cart should be there. How many bosses are there? 5 total. Can I get your autograph? I loved you in Bubble Boy. If you're like me, being overly social is draining. Nerm, that's absolutely right. I was a more social person when I was younger. I even did. Funny enough, I did DJing for a while. I was a DJ, and one of the ways that I realized that after doing DJing for a pretty good amount of time, like I started getting gigs and stuff, and I did a couple raves and things, and I loved the DJing part. I loved being in front of a crowd. I loved the energy. The musical aspect of it was really fun. You know, I had kind of a technical setup, the way that I did DJing, and that was really fun figuring that out and making it work. But I'll never forget when I was DJing, and it was basically inferred to me by somebody who had been DJing a lot longer than me and was a lot more successful. He just kind of like, oh, you're not going to this after party? And I was like, no, I'm tired. Just like at the end of pretty much every one of my sets, I'm gonna pack up and go home because I'm done. And he just kind of looked at me and he was like, well, I mean, you know that, you know, this guy's gonna be there and all these other people are gonna be there. Like, you know, like, don't do, like, this is what we have to do. And I was just kind of like, no, I'm gonna go home. And I went home, and sure enough, the next weekend, which was this like huge event, turned out that all the people at that event were basically the people that went to that after party. And it was the kind of thing where I realized, like, okay, if I'm actually going to want to get ahead in this industry, like it's, you know, I'm already staying out later than I want to. The last thing I want to do is have to like be going to parties every weekend that I don't really want to go to, and, you know, schmoozing with people and doing all this networking, you know, and it's just like, that was actually when I pretty quickly realized that I don't think that was going to be for me long term. Yeah. But some people love that. Some people thrive in that environment. Absolutely thrive in that environment. Like, it is not only fun for them, but they're good at it, and they love doing it, and they can spend their whole lives doing it. But me, man, that's not for me. Not for me. Just like you said, I just find it draining. It's just too much. I would much rather just hang out with a friend or two, or just like streaming, just a bunch of you guys in a chat room, just chilling, playing games, talking games, hanging out, relaxing. Oh man, that's what I like to do. That's my preference. Yep. And of course, all the shrooms are here when we're not looking for them. Get this fire going. I think I'm gonna make more of a path here and bring this thing up a little bit. We've like clear cut this forest now. Cohh Rat, what's up, buddy? Okay, the only thing draining now is cart life, dragging this thing all over the place. It's true. It's true. The only thing draining for me now is my stamina. Hashtag cart life. It's absolutely true. Okay. Alright, so it's like a pretty good place to get started here. We're rested for a while. Let's let all that stamina come back. Chronix, I too DJ'd from early to mid-20s. I know exactly what you mean about it being over the crowds and hype after a period of time. Now in mid-30s, I just want to stay home. Yep, you nailed it, buddy. You nailed it. You nailed it. I also did like a relatively good amount of partying in college. Well, I should say, I partied at colleges because they were generally not colleges I was going to. So, you know, I kind of got a lot of that out of my system early, and then the DJ stuff was kind of a revitalization of that, and I was, you know, getting older and less interested. CohhCarnage. Oh my god. That's a character slash movie I haven't thought of for, what, 5 years, 10 years? Wow. Wonder whatever happened to that guy. Is he still doing movies? Whatever happened to Stifler? kind of funny. He is still doing movies? That's good. Good for him, man. Try 20 years? Yeah. Yeah. Is that's Sean William Scott? Is that who that is? I'm so bad with actors' names. If it's not Johnny Depp, I probably have no idea. All right, looking good here. Are we full? Oh, we're already full. Okay, cool. We're just gonna keep chopping down wood. Chopping wood, chopping wood. Take good use of this buff. Oh, damn. I should consider bringing out some endurance potions for this. Hadn't thought about that. Not in the right position. To be fair, every time you're out partying is missed time in EverQuest. That's true. You know, it's kind of funny. So one of the guys that that I would party with mostly, he was, funny enough, like a big frat guy. Like he was a what would we call it, a rush captain or something? I don't remember what it was called. But he was in a frat at the local state university. And we met because he had to take a couple classes at the place I went to for a while and then promptly left. But we met there and, you know, we had a lot in common and hung out after that. And I'll never forget, because one of the funny things that we would do is before a party, what he would do, yeah, Big Fox, actually. What he would do is he would come over to my place, because like a lot of times he didn't even have a computer he could do this on, but he was huge into DAOC, and he used to be like really, really big on the servers. So a lot of people knew him, because back then, you know, in MMOs, it was super cool. If you got a rep on a server, like people would just know you on the server. So what he would do is he would log on to these servers. And this was during a time where there was this expansion. I wanted to say, I don't remember what it was called exactly. Something Atlantis. I want to say there were these trials that you had to do. And what he would do is he would find people that need these trials done. Trials of Atlantis. There you go. TOA. That's right. And he would put together these giant public raids, right? These giant public raids. And he would do this because what he would do is he would find somebody that needs to get run through them, and he would charge them 1 pizza. So what would happen is he would come over to my place, he would spend like 30 minutes getting a raid set up, and then he would literally find one person to call a local pizza place and order a pizza to our house. And then he would run the raid. He almost always did it just fine. And we would then eat the pizza and then go out to frat parties. And we did that so many times. Like, it was crazy, like easily 10 plus times. It was hilarious. And it was kind of funny because he was kind of known as the guy that did that. So a lot of times, like, he would jump on not to do that, just to mess around. And he would get tells from people being like, yo, need a pizza? I got a new character that needs TOA. You need a pizza by any chance? So it was pretty hilarious. And he'd be like, no, I'm just, you know, jumping in to say hi to people. Like, it was pretty funny. What is this about giving online people your address? Dude, this was like the late 90s. You didn't have to worry about this shit back then. you didn't have to worry about this back then. Seriously, it was never a concern back in the day. Especially over a game like freaking Dark Age of Camelot. You just didn't, no one cared, man. All this was so new. I mean, Dark Age of Camelot was like the second big graphic MMO. Like, everyone was a bro in that game. What was super cool about, okay, here we go. Here comes the old man talk. I'm doing it. What was super cool about old school MMOs is pretty much just like Twitch was back in the day. Like, everyone you met in an old school MMO there was this different feeling you had with them because the world didn't know about MMOs yet. MMOs were niche, and a lot of times when you went from MMO to MMO, you'd see the same people. So, like, it was much more personal back in the day, because it was the situation where if you were playing an MMO with somebody, like Dark Age of Camelot, EverQuest, Shadowbane, Anarchy Online, you instantly knew that you and that person shared like a serious passion about these games. For me, it was like EverQuest. I like grew up in Norath, but it was so cool, man. Like servers were completely different than they were today. And that's one of the things I'm already seeing hints of this kind of coming back a little bit with games like Pantheon, which is super cool. It's one of the reasons I'm so behind Pantheon. Because I think that could be the first game in a while that has like a similar, I think a lot of old school people like me could come back for Pantheon, which would be very cool. I already know a lot are, funny enough. But I think that MMOs like that could foster that kind of community again. But yeah, it was really interesting how different things are today. Today, especially with like the advent of theme park MMOs and everything, a lot of MMOs are like single player games that you just see other people playing at the same time. They're not like social based, small group actual things. If you need a dungeon done, you just pop open the Finder and you jump in with a bunch of people and you get it done, then you never talk to them again. Like it's a completely different feeling. And the conveyor belt of content moving you from quest hub to quest hub to quest hub just makes it like a total non-factor in dealing with other people. So yeah, I'm very excited for games like Pantheon to hopefully kind of bring back some of that kind of stuff, and maybe just maybe show a new generation what kind of got all of us middle-aged to older folks kind of like so invested in these in the first place. We'll see. We will have to see. Ashes of Creation. Ashes of Creation is looking to be really cool and really fun. I don't know if it's the kind of MMO I'm talking about, but it's certainly looking very cool. Ashes of Creation is looking to be like the most kind of, I say this kind of loosely, but Ashes of Creation looks to be kind of like the most recent real MMO since like Final Fantasy 14. Like I loved Final Fantasy 14. In fact, I got my sub button on Twitch playing Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn. We had a community guild, multiple community guilds, because we were so big. Oh man, look at that. Physics! And it was a blast. I loved it. I had a great time in it. The only reason I stopped playing Final Fantasy 14 was at the time I completely ran out of shit to do. I had like multiple classes with my ultimate weapon. I had like a bunch of trade skills maxed. I had multiple characters maxed. Like at the time, there was like nothing left for me to do, so I stopped playing it. And then that kind of fire went out, unfortunately, which is too bad because I know there's tons of amazing stuff going on in Final Fantasy 14 these days. But once that fire goes out, for a lot of people, including me, it's just, you can't really reignite it. Once you're done with an MMO, you're just done. Doesn't matter how cool it gets, you're just done. But it doesn't mean that you can't respect that it's like a super cool, good game, which is what I do with 14. Hell, even ESO has made a lot of strides lately being the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, it's, I have high hopes for Ashes of Creation. I hope that Ashes of Creation can really deliver on a lot of the stuff it's saying it wants to do. Yeah, I have high hopes. It's setting out to do a lot, and I hope that it can do it. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna potentially read what that one guy in chat is saying, and this may not be accurate, so I want a little bit of feedback here because I was not aware of this. Valentine PV says ESO is super pay to win now. Is it? It's pay to win? No, it's not. Okay. It's not pay to win at all. Okay, so real quick, okay, that is just one guy. Valentine PV, the guy that said that, is a somewhat regular on the channel. Valentine, can you explain why you think that? What in it makes you say it's pay to win? Out of curiosity. By pay to win, I mean pay to have a decent experience, not multiplayer pay to win. Okay. Okay. I'll still look into that. A decent pay to have a decent experience? You do have some advantages if you sub to it. Okay. I'll look into it. I clearly need to be more informed on that before I start talking about it. Okay. Anyway. Hey, appreciate the heads up. I clearly need to look at it. Oh, Lord. But anyway, that's good to know. That's cool. So how could you say all that about MMOs and still say that you're introverted? Well, dude, I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about MMOs. Like I was saying, how I kind of grew up in Norath. For me, I get a lot of my social interaction and social fulfillment talking to people online and through the computer. Why? Because I generally don't like dealing with people face to face. For me, I've had super meaningful, large relationships with people through the computer. So for me, like a lot of the stuff that I learned about being social, and hell, a lot of the stuff I learned about the world, I learned talking to people through EverQuest 1 via text. I mean, we didn't even have voice comms. So for me, that's like one of the ways that I like doing that stuff. Brah! Dude, what the hell's going on here? Okay, you know what? Fine. That's right. Physics, boys, let's go. But yeah, so just because I kind of like strongly, I have a great time interacting and talking with people and grouping with people in games like EverQuest and soon to be Pantheon, hopefully. That doesn't mean that I necessarily like to do that with people in real life, which is what introverted a lot of times means. You can be super introverted in real life and be a totally different person on a computer. So yeah, I know lots of people that are like that actually. So yeah, that is totally a thing. Totally a thing. All right, let's start moving this over. Introversion means you recover energy by being alone. That's an interesting way to put it. I haven't heard that exact thing before, but I agree. Yeah. Is the opposite of that extroverted means you recover energy around other people? Is that what that infers? Like you actually become more... Oh yeah, actually that kind of makes sense. You become more energetic around other people. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Interesting. Okay. So see, that's interesting because there's no question, like when I did the DJing and stuff, that I would draw energy from the crowd. In fact, I kind of do that a lot of times with streaming. I mean, I'm certainly not as like energetic and animated if I'm, just sitting in a room playing a game. I don't just sit alone in a room doing stuff. But at the same time, I guess that's different because it's certainly not in front of... I don't know. That's weird, man. This is weird. I feel like there's this whole unexplored like psyche thing about online relationships and online stuff. Like everything in history so far has been face to face, and the whole online stuff has only been in the last like few decades. So it's weird. Nobody knows like what the norms are with this stuff, Yeah, I don't think it's very black and white, says Pureblade. I agree. I think you're absolutely right. Did I ever play old school RuneScape? No, the big MMOs I played were EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, Anarchy Online, a lot of Shadowbane. Age of Conan. I played a little Neocron. Yeah. Mostly bounced around with some groups between the Vanguard, played a lot. In fact, Carnage, my name, CohhCarnage. Carnage was the first guild I ever led, and it was in Vanguard Saga of Heroes. Mm-hmm. Played a little Lineage 2. Not too much of that, but I did play a little bit of Lineage 2. Yeah, dude, Vanguard was awesome. The only problem with Vanguard is it was 80% of a game. It was 80% of a game. Vanguard was a super cool game with super cool concepts, and then you got to the end game, and there was just nothing. There was literally just nothing. There was nothing there. It was so wild. Like, we played on a PvP server, CohhCarnage did, and all we did was PvP at the end, and come up with fun and interesting ways to ultra camp people, because there was literally nothing else to do. It was really unfortunate, because that game could have gone many different places, and it just didn't. It just didn't. But man, like, it was a good time, dude. A good time. It was a good time. The group PvP was really fun. The levels were fun and interesting. A lot of the classes were super cool. I played a little Rocky Psionicist, which was like a little tiny wolf dude. It was like a basically, imagine like a werewolf, except the size of a puppy. That was what I played. It was called a Rocky, and it was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun. It was like a werewolf puppy, little tiny werewolf puppy. You in here. All right. So now we got a ton of wood. We can go ahead and finish up this outer courtyard build, and then I think we don't have a lot of rock, do we? We're gonna need to figure out where we're gonna get rock to start, because we need to do the foundation of the outer wall first. Once we have the foundation down, and we're gonna click that into our existing structures, then we'll know A, where to dig the moat, and B, where we're gonna put the gatehouses, and then we're gonna do all sorts of stuff. So we'll do that tonight. This game is so much fun. All right, my dudes, I'm out of here for now. I will see you fine folks tonight at 6:30 p.m. ET, where we'll put in probably at least another 2 or 3 hours of this game, and go from there. Tomorrow is probably going to be more Valheim. We've got the inner courtyard to finish up. We've got the outer stuff to do. And then finally, we've got a boss to go after. We've got planes to explore. We've got things to get, people to see. And it's my birthday. Is 25 considered old? No. You're especially not these days, dude. Anyway, happy birthday, by the way. On that note, I will see all of you tonight for my EU folks in about 2.5 hours from now. Quick reminder, if you haven't checked them out yet and you are playing Valheim, make sure to check out our tips videos. If you do like them, I'd love to hear some feedback on them, as these are kind of like, funny enough, the first tips videos I've ever made. So yeah, let me know what you think about them, if you like them, and if you want to see more, we'll kind of go from there. Coming up on the channel, we've got Graveyard Keeper, Dark Souls 3 Cinders mod, Neo 2 DLC, all sorts of other things, so it's going to be good. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day, an excellent morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are on the globe. I'm going to go ahead and run my highlight reel. I will see you all later. Have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye.